Jeff Moon is a consultant on international trade and government affairs. He's also served as an assistant U.S. trade representative for China and is a frequent guest on our program. Jeff, welcome.
Thank you.
So we heard what Wang had to say. China will not be cowed by threats. It will not be subdued by pressure. Do you agree with Nathan that that was a direct message to the United States?
I think that's something that any leader of a foreign government would say. China has much to be proud of. This is a time when China is going to be celebrating 70 years of the founding of the nation. And so those statements are entirely appropriate and consistent with the interests of China. So I'm not particularly surprised.
But you know, China's push for a multilateral approach, its defense of globalization, Jeff, is just in such sharp contrast with President Trump's America First policies. What does it mean for China, and what does it mean for the United States when it comes to leadership on the world stage?
Well, I think it's good to talk about multilateral approaches. I personally happen to agree with that. But just attending, just discussing, and just agreeing is not enough to make a multilateral world. You actually have to follow through. And I think that's what the American question is for China, whether China wants to follow through on those commitments at all. Now that China has this prosperity, what is China going to do with it? China can talk about wanting peace and prosperity for all, but it's more than making commitments, it's following through, and I think that actually is at the root of the trade dispute. There's a belief in the United States that China has not followed through.
So where do things stand between the two countries? I mean, you and I have talked about this frequently. Do you think in October when they get together, there will be significant progress? What needs to happen for any kind of breakthrough to happen?
Well, I hope so. The first question is, where do they resume the discussions? It's been several months. Do they pick up where they left off in May, or do they go somewhere else? There is, however, an opportunity. I'd say there's maybe a 30% chance of a small deal between October 1st, after these celebrations, and up to maybe February the 3rd as the outer limit. That's the first day that American voters are going to go to the ballot box, and President Trump will start to feel pressure. I think there's an opportunity because, frankly, both of the leaders of these countries are under significant economic pressure due to both the trade war and falling economic growth. And domestically, from a political perspective, I believe they're at the most vulnerable point of their terms. Trump now faces a significant impeachment threat. Xi Jinping faces a direct threat to Beijing's rule in Hong Kong right now. And so they may want to change the topic for a minute here and find some quick wins. I don't think there's enough time to completely resolve everything, but there are ways that they could come to some small agreement that would make some good news and create some momentum.
Let me get your take on a report that came out a few hours ago that the White House is reportedly considering blocking all U.S. investments in China. How likely is that to happen, and how devastating would such a move be?
Well, there's several things to think about here. First of all, we don't really know what the details are. So you just said everything that we know about this. We don't know who's behind this. I suspect I know where in the White House this is coming from. There is a hard line that's there. However, this is not the first time we've heard about this. There is a long-running dispute between the United States and China over accounting standards. China has historically claimed that because of state secrets, they cannot allow Chinese companies to be fully audited. So this is a dispute that's been out there for a while, and it's coming into here. And then over the longer term, frankly, I think that we're going to get some kind of a trade deal that will not resolve everything. And then we will move into a phase where we're going to think about reciprocity. And the United States is going to say, fine, we'll look at what you can do here, what we can do there, and we're going to make things equal. And this may be the first example where we're talking about reciprocity. Why is it that Baidu or Alibaba can list in the United States, but none of the FANG stocks can operate in China without significant limitations? So that reciprocity discussion, I think, is going to...
Reciprocity and also building trust again.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, we'll leave it there. Jeff Moon, thank you so much.